Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a special little vlog. Just wanted to take a trip down memory lane and discuss about one of my personal favorite card games growing up. And that is, this was originally a gift to my mother back years ago, and then she gave it to me when I was younger. It is a really interesting, unique card game. Or more specifically, this was a popular French made card game. Now, this specific edition was released in 1971. You can find a more modern version of the game that comes in like a steel tin nowadays. But this is what the 70s edition print of this French card game. The basics about it, but quickly show you some of the basics. Just the cover. And you have this to put your cards in. You have a couple of special cards here that let you know the exact amounts of each specific card in the game. Okay, come on. Yep, sorry it's not focusing. But with that said, anyways, one of the keys, and it gives you like a mention of numbers and everything, what the back looks like. Now, also your basic rule book that would come with it gives you all the basic info on it. And this would be if you were wanting to keep score or something, but never actually wrote on this, use a different paper. Now, up to I believe it's up to 4 people can play this at a time. The basic goal of this game is to basically get a total of 5,000 miles to reach in the total of the game. The first to reach basically 5,000. Now, on average, the first to 1,000 to win each of, I guess you could say, of multiple rounds. That is the basis of this game. Basically, you're a obviously driver or whatever, and you're trying to get that 1,000 miles, and overall, the ultimate. And how you would stop that, you get a certain number, it gives you a certain amount of miles per thing. Plus, you have cards that will stop, your opponent, and you can get special cards to fix your vehicle. Some of the types of stuff you may see, for instance, to try to stop you from making it, you have stuff like speed limit, which is very unique. So it limits to how far you can go, obviously. Also, you have things like out of gas card to stop your opponent from driving any farther, which are very unique in cards, and this is very unlike any other card game I know of. Now, growing up, I would play predominantly 3 specific board games with family. This being probably my personal all-time favorite game, just because it has a lot of nostalgia, and because it was a favorite growing up as a kid playing this game in the early 90s and onward. And the fact that this was one of my mother's favorite card games as well. You would have other stuff to stop, like your opponent's cards, like the accident card. Also, of course, flat tire, and yeah, you get multiples in it. Now, each round, once you're done, you would put all the cards back together once the cards are out, and you would reshuffle them and then start again. Now, there are other things. Now, for instance, if you want to stop, certain stuff, for instance, if you want to stop a red light or something stopping you from going, you can reverse the red light card with the roll card. So green light card basically is how you would cancel that out. And if you got a flat tire, you would simply use spare tire card. Funny thing is, a lot of elements in this game are very not so like your traditional card games of the time period when this game originally came out, which I believe was originally the 60s, though this was the 70s incarnation. I believe this originally came out like earlier mid 60s originally, but yeah, this is the 1971 edition. Now, if you're at all curious about this game, you can find it relatively cheap online. I was surprised when I just got curious about how much this game is trending for, and it's honestly not a very expensive game to collect for. I think because there's really no interest in collecting it for this game. But like, for instance, if your car breaks down, you would play the repair card. And if, of course, you run out of gasoline or whatever, you just use the refill, which there are multiples in the game for. And then the last one, you would simply use end of limit. It's very interesting. Some of these things are more common, like signs and stuff are more common, obviously French, given, well, this was a French-based card game, which I find quite interesting. Now, in total, there are 4 specific most important cards in the game. I guess you could consider these like the ace cards of this game. You have specifically 4 very important cards. The first one is called Driving Ace. The second one is called Right of Way, which means that you're priority and you can basically get past any of the trap cards. Next one is Puncture Proof, meaning no one can puncture your tire with one of those cards. You're completely protected. And you can keep this and play basically the whole game. So it's like a permanent, I guess you could say, magic card or something. Speaking in the language of like either Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! As an example. And the last of the most important is Extra Tank, protecting yourself from losing the gas. These are the most important cards in this game. Now, like I mentioned, of course, there's red lights and stuff, and yeah, this is what it looks like. Of course, just red and says stop. Then you would have stuff like speed limit, like I mentioned before. That is what others. And then you have these, the number cards, like how far you can get using each card. Like, for instance, for slow stuff, you have the 25-mile card, or rather, 25 miles per hour, which is why it shows as snail, actually, in the artwork. The next one, which there's actually less of, at least in the 25, you have the 50-mile per hour card, which, strangely enough, shows a duck for some reason. Then the next, you have the 75-mile per hour card, which has a butterfly on it for some reason. Then you have the 100-mile per hour, and funny enough, it is a rabbit. And then the 200, which there's only 4 of those in the game, and it's a bird. But yes, total, this is just some of the very basics on the cards and everything overall. But yeah, it is a classic, and if you're at all interested, you can just pause this right now and look up the name and then bring it up on eBay. Like I said, there's many different incarnations of this. There's like 3 or 4 versions. The most recent incarnation, if you want like brand new, you can get it in a steel can and stuff, the newest version. But I prefer to stick with the one I was originally given growing up. So, yeah, I've kept a hold of this throughout many years because I guess you could say this holds a special place for me, especially given it's probably my favorite like board slash card game growing up. I think because I never knew anyone else that ever played this game personally, only me and my family. So I guess that's one thing this game just holds a special place for me personally. Outside of this, the two other main games I would play growing up was games like, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise, Monopoly. Of course, like many people, grew up playing Monopoly. And outside of that, I also always had a certain enjoyment for classic stuff like checkers, above other traditional card games slash stuff. Of course, there's always classics like Uno and chess on occasion. But with that said, yeah, this is my personal time. I just thought I'd share like a special vlog, mention about like what got me into playing like board games and card games and stuff in the first place. This was my introduction. And like I said, you can see certain elements in this that played an influence in future card games and stuff like Magic, obviously, elements also, and you can even find in Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff. Really, a lot of that stuff originates from this. I mean, given this came out in the 60s. Though, being a French based card game makes it very unique and different. I think from pretty much any American card game or anything. But with that said, I'll cut this vlog, but this is just a little trip down memory lane and showing a bit on a, I think, very unique and interesting card game that I have not seen anything else really out there, even quite similar to this. But you will see this in a future pickups video along with probably other comic books or movies or something. Not sure. But with that said, I'll see y'all next time. Hopefully you enjoyed the very relaxing music in the background. As always, I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe out there in YouTube land. And stay tuned for some future reviews I'm working on. In the next week, my first special Halloween themed reviews will be coming out. My review for Silent Hill Revelations. Stay tuned for that. Stay safe, and I'll see y'all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.